Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. It's a new week and we've got some new transfer deals to talk about as Liverpool move closer to another new signing. Fabrizio Romano reporting about Kerkez and advanced talks. Liverpool aren't messing about. Is it time for other clubs to get worried? I don't necessarily think so. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo could be heading to the Club World Cup. I don't think he's played in the United States since 2014, 11 years. Should he be in the Club World Cup? I think he should. Could he be going to the Club World Cup with the Brazilian team? We'll talk about that as well. And also, big news in football today. Gary Lineker has quit / been pushed out of the BBC. He was meant to be carrying on to the World Cup next year. It will be his last match of the day, last performance on BBC on Sunday. What are your thoughts on that? We'll delve into that as well. No politics in football is my thoughts, but I'll give you more in a moment. Let's start off with Liverpool. We're going to talk about Kerkez, and this is coming in from Fabrizio Romano, who is basically saying that Liverpool have contacted Bournemouth for Kerkez, dealing with talks now advancing. Liverpool are also completing the agreement on personal terms. Kerkez is keen on the move. Negotiations underway between clubs on transfer fee. I think, is there a club in England when it comes to transfers that when Fabrizio Romano starts talking about them and being in talks, the deal doesn't happen? Is there a club in England that Fabrizio Romano talks about talks between clubs that the deal doesn't happen anyway? But this deal will be done in no time. It's literally almost like a carbon copy. We had it a week ago with Frimpong. We've now got it with Kerkez. He'd be a Liverpool player by the end of the week. Maybe not the end of the week because they have still got a game at the weekend, maybe early next week. But they'll get this deal done efficiently. They won't mess about. And it'll be another fantastic signing for Liverpool. I think Kerkez this season with Anthony Robinson has been one of the best two left-backs in the league. And obviously he's younger. Liverpool need an heir to the Robertson throne. And with Frimpong taking over from Trent, I think Kerkez just makes a lot of sense. He's Premier League proven. He gets a lot of assists. I've been doing Team of the Week with Robbie on his channel for most of the season. And I normally put Kerkez in there every week. If I'd known he was going to Liverpool, I would have not done it. But no, jokes aside, he has been brilliant this year. Maybe I agree with Man United fans. Maybe Man United should have been looking at a deal like this. But the price tag, maybe he wanted Liverpool. You've got to get into that mindset now that these players choosing Liverpool are choosing the Premier League winner, and they've got a lot of potential in that team, and it's a very attractive proposition. And on Liverpool moving efficiently, I would applaud it, but there aren't many teams that can at the moment, and I think Liverpool are. It's that old saying, isn't it? That when you're ahead, and I remember Sir Alex and Roy Keane talking about this when Man United were very dominant. Adding to your team when you're strong is what you should do. Keep people on their toes. Don't settle that you are the best and you don't need to spend money. And Liverpool, I think, because they didn't spend money for Slot last summer and they've won the league, they were always going to reward him this summer. But they'll have a better team next year. And I think players like this, who are Premier League proven and hungry, are going to be really interesting signings for Liverpool. So, but of course Liverpool are going to sign players because they've won the league. They haven't got a Club World Cup. They haven't got a Champions League final. Their last league game of the season doesn't really matter. They've won the league. They can go to players and say, look, we want you. Do you want to come and do the deal? We'll be in the Champions League and we're going to try and win the Premier League as well. Do you want to come? Yeah, okay, let's just get it done. You can go on holiday, come back for pre-season. Perfect. If it's Chelsea, come to us. Wait, what are you going to do? Wow, we'll be in Europe. We're definitely going to be in Europe. We don't know whether it's the Conference League, the Europa League, or the Champions League. And we've got a Club World Cup if you fancy that at the end of a season. So Arsenal are in a similar position because they have got seconds now and they're not going to do anything else. But I think Liverpool and Arsenal are the only two clubs who are doing deals, and that's probably because they're in a calm situation. If you're Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, all these clubs who don't know whether they're going to be in the Champions League yet, then you've got to wait a little bit. Man United, Spurs, obviously got to wait and see what happens on Wednesday. So I'm not stressed about Liverpool doing stuff. I'm happy that clubs are doing stuff. I've said this before. I think this transfer window is going to be brilliant. Get subscribing, get your notifications on here. We're going to be covering it all summer. And I think sometimes the summer transfer window never really gets going. Certainly never gets going in May and June. And I think it's going to change. So I'm all for it. And it's a good signing. Let's talk about Ronaldo. So this is coming in from Marca. Ronaldo has received an offer from an unnamed Brazilian club which would allow the Portugal star to play in the FIFA World Cup, which starts in June. I'll bloody love this. I will watch the Club World Cup. I've already made my mind up. I will do it, and I suppose we'll do watch-alongs and stuff. I'm not doing all of them. I mean, I'm not getting up at 2 o'clock to watch bloody Auckland City play, the dog and duck. But I'll give it a chance. I'll watch some of them. If it's rubbish, I won't watch it. But if Ronaldo's in it, it'll make me want to watch it a little bit more. I think you'd be moving. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Ronaldo, you'd love to play, wouldn't you? And I think if they can get him a club to play for, I think it would be great for the tournament. I mean, I don't know whether it can happen or not, but look, Ronaldo's not going to be around for that much longer. Messi's going to be in this tournament. It'd be great to have Ronaldo. I know this stuff about the United States. I only talk about this from experience because we had it at Man United when we were on tour and he didn't go on the tour. And there's always been this stuff about Ronaldo can't... I think the last time he played in the United States is 2014. I think he can play in the United States. There was allegations against him that I'm not going to delve into all that, but I don't like. I would love to see him play in the Club World Cup. I'd love to see him go and play, and if there's an opportunity to do it, I'm sure he would do it. So I watch this space on that one. I think it's probably quite an interesting one just to see. With regards to the transfer window, just very, very quickly, Kerkez, there was a little bit over the weekend that Man United have basically said to him, wait until after the window. We would like to, we're very interested. Fabrizio Romano said that Man United and Arsenal are strongly interested. I think there are players out there that have got to wait as well as clubs. There's a cup final for Kerkez at the weekend. There are players that are going to wait and see what's happening with people. We know Cunha to Man United is very close as well. Mbeumo, I'm interested to see where Mbeumo's going to go. Perfect for Newcastle. Where will he end up? And finally, let's talk about, well, look, I've left it till last because we just did our final podcast, actually. It's out now, Goldbridge Saves Football. Go and listen to it. It's the last one we're going to do. We've explained it on there. But before we did it, I said to Will, should we talk about Lineker? And he was like, I'd rather not because it's the last podcast and obviously I'm going to be looking to do other stuff and I don't want to upset potential employers. And I said, well, I'll probably talk about it on That's Football then. So Gary Lineker has basically has quit the BBC. He was going anyway. He was going after the World Cup in a year's time, but he's going after Sunday now. And this is because of, let's be quite clear, this is because of non-footballing posts again. I would say two things about this, and I'm sure I'll read the comments because I'm sure it's going to pop off. But and everybody's entitled to their opinion, and this is my opinion on Gary Lineker leaving the BBC and Match of the Day. For 26 years, he's been on the BBC Match of the Day. I remember when Des Lynam was there and Lineker was a guest, and then he took the role, and he was very good at it, and I really liked it. It was a different time, and I liked it. And it should be applauded, somebody who's been on our TV screen for 26 years. And I did really enjoy Match of the Day. It's dead now. Football Focus, I used to love that. It's dead now. The mainstream is dying, and Lineker has his own production company. It's doing really, really well. I don't think he needs Match of the Day anymore. If anything, I think it's more of a status thing. I present Match of the Day. And also, when the World Cup comes around and the Euros, to be the broadcaster, who the anchor of that is a status thing. And I'm sure he will miss that. But everything comes to an end, and Match of the Day is basically going to come to an end soon anyway. It's just not very good. And I think that's why content like this does well, because it's the new type of content. Why Lineker's leaving, I would say, well done. He's done well in the role, and everything comes to an end, and obviously that's sad in a sense. But what I would say is that the reasons behind this, really, he should just be going, I've had enough of it, I want to leave on a high. And actually, he's going because of things that are nothing to do with football. I've said this consistently. I often get asked Rangers or Celtic. I've been asked it for years. And what I always say is, not going to answer it, because Rangers and Celtic is not football, is it? It goes deeper than that, and you can offend people. And that's not why Lineker's got into trouble. It's something far, well, actually, I'm not even going to say that, because it's not far more important. What I'm saying is, there are lots of conflicts, there are lots and lots of issues around the world that have got nothing to do with football, and people get very, quite rightly, divided by them and passionate about them. People lose their lives over these conflicts and differences. And I just think, as a ex-football player and a football presenter, I don't want to listen or read your tweets about that. because I want to listen to you talk about football. And that is my right. And we've seen it with other ex-footballers as well who get big platforms because they get jobs with Sky, etc. And then they start backing political parties with their Twitter and stuff like that. And I always think, nah, I don't agree with it. That doesn't mean that there won't be times where I'll say, I think that's disgraceful, this is disgraceful. We'll all fall foul of it. But I think some people do it a lot. And I think just, you know what, for me, football is, I love it. It's escapism. And the great thing about football that I learned was when I moved to Ireland 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, 25 years ago, Ireland was different. Dublin was different to what it is now. And walking around with an English accent sometimes could get you into, you know, arguments with people. Not from my side. But most of the time, if I was at a house party and someone heard that I was English and it could cause a bit of a trouble, most of the time you could talk to them about football because they'd be a Man United fan or a Liverpool fan. And suddenly all those issues that really matter to those people are not forgotten but parked because you have a common purpose to talk about football. I think football brings people together. I don't think bringing politics and everything else into football is a good idea because it takes people apart again. Thanks for everybody for watching. Let your comments in. What do you think about Liverpool and Kerkez? I think it's a great signing. What do you think about Ronaldo in the Club World Cup? Can it happen? I'd love to see it happen. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.